Welcome and thank you for joining us today. Today we're diving into details about online CELTA course starting early September. So if you're unsure about signing up for the CELTA course, I'm confident this webinar will answer your questions. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Renee, a CELTA course graduate with experience in Cambridge teacher certificates such as TKT modules 1, 2, 3, and CLIO. And I'm currently pursuing the Delta course. So I'm very thrilled to guide you through this Cambridge CELTA course today. So we're also fortunate to have a special guest with us, James Forrest. He's a Cambridge CELTA and Delta assessor, and he'll be your main course tutor if you're accepted. So his insights will be invaluable. So get ready for the informative sessions later on, everyone. So, all right, so now I'm opening today's webinar with a video about one of the CELTA graduates. So shall we watch it first?
I always wanted to be an English teacher. People remember the teachers that meant something to them, that inspired them, that saw them for who they could be, recognized their potential, and helped them reach it. Becoming that teacher is who I want to be, to motivate my students, to support their learning and help them reach their goals. Learning a language is an exciting journey, but it isn't straightforward. Every learner needs support and encouragement, and every learner is different. I wasn't sure I'd have the skills to help all my students succeed. My Cambridge English teaching qualification gave me the knowledge and confidence to teach English. It also provided me real-life teaching experience and the skills to be able to find the right approach for the different challenges students face day to day. There are times where learning English can be challenging. I understand. I've been there too. The practical skills and knowledge I gained from taking a teaching qualification helped me to understand how my students learn English, how I can help them overcome their challenges, and keep them motivated throughout their learning journey. And I'm happy I've given them the confidence to succeed. Moments like these make it all worthwhile. I am proud to have the opportunity to help my students realize their potential and achieve their goals. Become the teacher you want to be.
Okay, so the video was provided by the Cambridge English Assessment, the official website. I just brought it here. Okay, so how was the video? After watching the video, for me, that really reminded me of my first day of teaching my whole life. So everyone, do you remember your first day of teaching? How did it go? For me, I learned English in Korea like just the typical Korean English learners using very grammar translation method, focusing on preparing for Suning, Korean SAT. But that was the only way I was taught English before I started teaching Korea. So I was very confident in my teaching method. But one day I was assigned to teach a speaking class for primary schoolers at the academy back then. So that was a very first moment I felt frustrated and I was unsure about how to teach speaking because I'd never taken any speaking classes myself. So after a few frustrating months, I finally decided to take a teacher training program. That was the very first teacher training in my whole life. So that was my story, everyone. So I want to ask you that. How about you? What do you struggle with the most as an English teacher? Can you share a little bit and putting down your story or your keyword on the chat room now, everyone? Can you share if you can on the chat room? Oh, I think because excited and engaged can be a challenge. Yes, I totally agree. Yeah. And give a more chance to them to speak out and asking good questions to let them speak out. That was also very challenge, still challenging to me. And any more idea, teachers? Okay. We just started a webinar, so it might be a little awkward and share my private story in the first meeting. No worry. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Martin. Okay. I started my teaching journey back in 2005 in South Korea. And the very first class was so nerve-wracking for me. I spent the whole evening preparing, but I had a difficulty getting students to share their own opinions. Yes, yes, right. So preparing for a lesson on the my first day of the teaching, it took forever. Yeah. Okay. So all right. So thank you for sharing, Ted and Martin. All right. So, whatever your concerns may be, I can assure you that the CELTA course will provide you with the better answers and help improve your teaching skills. So, here is what we'll be covering today. First, I will guide you through the general and essential information about the online course, CELTA course. And next, our main course tutor, James Forrest, he will take the lead in the next session, focusing on valuable teaching tips. Lastly, but not least, I will remind you about the application process. So, what is a CELTA? Just to put it simply, these numbers can explain the CELTA course. I think so. So, can you guess what each number means? Yeah, I think some of you know the answer. Okay, let me share. So let's just start from 120. 120 hours. All CELTA courses include at least 120 hours of contact between candidates and course tutors. 62, 62 years. CELTA course has been around 62 years. The John Haycraft, he held the very first course at his private school in London in 1962. He came up with the idea of a beginner course for English teachers, which would teach the basic teaching methodology, theories, and approaches to teach English as a foreign language to speakers of other languages. So it led the way up to what we nowadays call CELTA. This qualification was the ancestor of all TESOL and TEFL qualification. And 5, CELTA course covers 5 topics. Later on, let me show you more about what 5 is. All right, and next, 6 hours of teaching. The CELTA course requires trainees to complete 6 hours of teaching with real students. Lastly, 4 written assignments for assessment. So if you're accepted, you have to submit 4 written assignments in 750 to 1,000 words. So that's it. Very simple, right? So now I want to go into more details. Let's see. So CELTA originally stand for Certificate in English Language Teaching to Adults. But many of the skills and techniques you'll practice on the CELTA course are applicable to teaching young learners as well. So who is a CELTA for? The CELTA is an introductory course for candidates who have a little English language teaching experience, but it may also be suitable for candidates with some experience but little previous training. And the CELTA course aims at these 3 things. Throughout the course, the trainees will acquire essential subject knowledge and familiarity with the principles of effective teaching, and they will acquire a range of practical skills for teaching English to learners. And they will demonstrate their ability to apply their learning in a real teaching context. These are the 3 aims of the CELTA course. So now, next, I will show you the course overview starting in September. The online CELTA course begins on September 25th, right after the Chuseok holiday in Korea this year, and it will last approximately 3 months until December 21st. And all training and support will be delivered online by the trainer. It is 100% online self-study. So if you are accepted, you will be given access to the Cambridge Moodle website throughout the course, where you can study at your own pace. This flexibility is particularly beneficial for those living outside of Seoul or having difficulty scheduling. It is very important to note that every Tuesday and Friday from 9 a.m. to 12:15 p.m., there will be a real-time online session with your peers and tutors. So punctual attendance is required. During these sessions, you will be teach a group of real students online while the trainer and your peers observe. Therefore, you must be available to attend every Tuesday and Friday from 9 to 12:15 p.m. Regarding assessment, you will be assessed mainly through 6 hours of teaching practice and 4 written assignments. So here is the calendar I prepared. So it starts from September, right at the following week after Chuseok holiday. And every Tuesday and Friday, you have a real-time online session. You should be attended. You must be attended. And the last day is the 21st of September. It lasts approximately 3 months. So what does the CELTA cover? I mentioned earlier, let me show you the 5 topics. One of the 5 is the learners and teachers and the teaching and learning context. Number 2, language analysis and awareness. Number 3, language skills like reading, listening, speaking, and writing. Number 4, planning and resources for different teaching contexts. Last, developing teaching skills and professionalism. So throughout these 5 topics, you will gain knowledge, practical skills, and be assessed through 6 hours in teaching and 4 written assignments. Then move on assessment. Again, 6 hours of planning and teaching. So you are required to teach for a total of 6 assessed hours, and you are working with the learners at a minimum of 2 levels in classes of required size. And as for 4 written assignment, it should be written in 750 to 1,000 words. So these are 4 topics for your writing: learners and learning context, an aspect of a language system of English, aspect of a language skill, reflection on classroom teaching, and the identification of action points. So more details of a question for your writing will be provided later from your tutor. So at the end of the course, then you will get this certificate. But there are 3 passing grades: Pass A, Pass B, Pass. So Pass A shows very good awareness of learners. So you can manage yourselves and your lesson with a very little need for support. But majority of CELTA graduates, they achieve a pass grade. But very few trainees can fail based on the assessment criteria and their attendance. So this is all essential information I prepared about the online CELTA course. But how do you feel now? So are you still unsure about how much you will improve after taking CELTA course? And you have even little idea about what stage of teaching skills you are in now? So let's think about your students. How do you define your students' English ability? We are English teacher. We design and prepare lessons and provide student feedback based on the CFR. It's very familiar to us, right? So thanks to CFR, we can guide our student to the next step. But what about us? What about teachers? Are there any levels of teaching skills? How do we know what stage we are at in our teaching career? And how do we know what techniques we needed to work on more? So here is the answer for that. So this is the Cambridge English Teaching Framework for Teacher. So it was developed to help teachers identify what they are in their professional career, and to help teachers and their employers think about where they want to go next and identify development activities to get there. So it shows the stages of a teacher development from level 1 to level 4. There are also 5 categories that describe the key competencies of a teaching. So this is a very simplified diagram to put it on this slide. But anyway, let's have a look at these 2 categories today only. So one of them is a language ability. So language ability means evaluating your understanding of a language points taught at different levels of a CFR. So if you are at level 1 of a language ability category, you can provide accurate examples of a language points taught to A1 or A2 level students. So, but up to level 4, you can give accurate example of a language points for C2 level students as well. Another category, which is knowledge and awareness, it means it is developing, it's improving your ability to use a language accurately and appropriately when interacting with your learners and other teachers. So, for example, at the level 1, so teachers can answer simple questions asked by students. Level 2, you can answer most of the question with the help with the reference books. But up to level 4, you can answer most of the question with a little help of a reference book, and you can also deliver the explanation and answer the question in details. So based on that, with the help of this framework, teachers can assess themselves and see what competencies they can improve with a teaching qualification like a CELTA. So I hope this framework would help you define your teaching level, your current teaching level, and plan for the next step to go.